Well, I guess everybody's gone to bed. I went over to Motor Bombs and he was already closed down. So I thought I'd come over and see who is still alive here late at night. I might be the only one here. I can't believe everybody went to bed at 8:30. Oh, there's the guy right there. I come over to your page. Um, we watch stuff. I came over to your page. I thought you was going to be on to at least 9 o'clock my time, and I looked over there, and it was coming up on 8:30. Anyhow, I clicked on it, and I thought, and then it started in with your little promo. Oh, hey, riding on Ruby. It started with your promo. I went, wait a minute. No, they must be starting over. Then I drug the thing over, and it said you was on for 2 hours and 31 minutes or something like that. And I go, damn, I missed it by a minute. Oh, well, such is life. Huh? Oh, where did, oh, there he is right there. I was wondering what happened to Motorbomb. I thought he disappeared on me. Let me turn the little channel on here, the little link here. I really try to make an effort. But you can't speed certain things up. Not me. I never. Oh, y'all. We ran out of steam. Oh, you guys ran out of steam, not me. I just. Um, well, I hope you had a good turnout. Well, I saw there when I scanned it over, you had 8 people there. Maybe it was 8 people. It was just finishing. When I scanned it, the very last thing I seen, you wasn't live then. You'd already went off. Was everybody saying their goodbyes? So I figured, Ray was getting sleepy and. Uh, well, if you had a good turnout, I know you do. You always do. You got your regulars in there, and I just try to spread yourself out as much as you can. It looked from what I seen, I scanned across the deal. It looked like you had a good turnout. So, and there's Rod B. Hello, Mr. Rod B. Hope all of you guys had a good day. We had a good day here. Did some domestic stuff. I got caught up on the world of racing. I've been following the Cletus McFarland and his crew racing. Yeah, you over there, you're on a different time zone. You're approaching your midnight, your witching hour over there, and no, wait a minute, you're coming up on daytime over there. Yeah. Um, anyhow, we had a pretty good day here. I saw riding on Ruby a while ago. Riding on Ruby. I hope you. I'm looking forward to your ride. The second part of the Connecticut fall foliage. Oh, Cletus is he's got that one new car. He's got 2 new cars. Well, he's got a new body for an old car that makes the old car run really fast, and he's got a new Camaro that's got a 5,000 horsepower Proline Hemi engine in it. Very fast. Oh, good. I'll be looking forward to your video. Tyke Trucking, hello. Hello. Hope you've had a good day. Hope you're not trucking. Hope you're parked up somewhere having a good time. They in the old days when we used to run logbooks, everybody would run a 70-hour a week or whatever, and everybody tried to be home by the weekend. But you know, that never worked out. Anybody want to hop in here and get on put your face right on up in here? You're more than welcome to come in. I was really looking forward to catching up with the gang, but I promised her. See, I tell y'all a little story, guys. Last year, see, Angelique and Ruth always watch Christmas movies every year. And last year, there was no Christmas movies in the house. It was, we were still in a state of mourning. But she asked me this year if I would watch Christmas movies with her. And I intended to do so. I try to do matinees, so my evenings are freed up, but that don't always work either. Hey, Looney. How did the sick turn out? Is he okay? How's his foot? Anybody know? Obviously, when I went at the end of your video, I went to the end. It was already in a rerun. I saw Ray Gregory, so he made it home. He must have found his crew. Foot seems better. He loves. Oh, okay. He put a better dressing on it. Well, he was really distraught. Oh, good. I'm glad Ray had a good day. I know Sick was really distraught over getting his foot all wet and everything, and I'm hoping he's got that under control, and I'm glad Ray got home safe. He had a blister that he was wearing loose boots, and he had a blister, and he left it unattended. Got a little hello, Mister Retired Rider. Almost soon to be a track rider. One of those, track riders. You know what they say about track riders? They're fine folks. Oh, he got proper dressing today. Oh, good. I'm glad he got taken care of. Oh, well, he went down there and wore his boots loose because, he's got that numbness in his feet like I do and all the diabetics. And he thought by having the boots looser, he wouldn't be as awkward on his feet. And it turned out to be a disaster. Say, yeah, oh yeah. Maybe I spilled the beans. Maybe it's something I shouldn't have been saying. Retired, right? No, it was in your video, so I'm not spilling the beans. I loved it because I'm gonna tell you what. A happy wife makes for a happy life, and for her to be on the back riding up in there where you have a comfort. You've got a tremendous amount of brakes. You got comfort. You got cornering abilities. There's just so many things that, you're not riding a sports bike, but you're going to find challenging. You probably have ridden them before, but you actually are working when you're on a track that you don't even think anything about till you start riding the track and you realize you have to put a lot of labor into your riding love. Well, I'll make you uncomfortable, Robin. Well, there's my buddy sick. Hey, I already got a report and they said your foot's doing better. The only way I'm going to know if he's doing better is if I see him, There's a link. Anybody wants to get on there. I didn't even comb my hair. I should have combed my hair before I got on the screen, but I was so quickly. I better be careful what I say because she's just right in there and she'll hear me say I was rushing trying to get over there. I thought you guys would be going to at least 9 and I'd be able to squeeze in a few minutes. I didn't know that you got. Well, everybody lives an active life. Everybody gets tired. I tell you, one of the things I think sets you back is when you're pouring all that peroxide in your open cut. You have, I don't know the name, the proper medical term. There's when you have a wound, there's a white-looking liquid that helps you to. It's part of your immune system, and it kicks in. But when you wash it out with alcohol, it washes all that immunity away. An open wound, that is. If you got a burn or something like that, there's a lot of things. I have a lot of peroxide here, and we use it, but we learned not to be pouring it in any kind of an open wound. And I'm real cautious about my feet. Being a diabetic, I get up out of here at night. I'll come over here, and I'll hit my toe on the corner of that chair, on the corner. And you drive one of them toes back up in your foot, even though your toes are numb feeling, you'll feel it when them bones crack. I ain't kidding you. Buddy, we were doing Christmas movies. It's that time of the year. I know it ain't even Halloween yet, but Netflix is tied in with Hallmark, and they're bringing you all the Hallmark movies and a lot of new ones, and most of them are the same dialogue over and over. You got a lot of them are done in Canada. Canada produces a lot of Hallmark movies. Well, it's the idyllic setting, snow-capped mountains and beautiful fishing villages and all that stuff, That's the reason the Trailer Park Boys was so popular, that them Canadians have that acting ability. Die Hard. I guess I've probably seen all of those. Danny Glover, that's when he teamed up with Mel Gibson in the series of movies. They made a fortune off of them. Oh, no, it wasn't Die Hard. That was Bruce Willis, wasn't it? No, I can't remember. Either one of them are good actors. Lethal Weapons. That's right. There you go. That was Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. Lethal Weapons 1, 2, and 3, and oh, look at old Sylvester Stallone. He did so many of them Rambo movies. He's all eat up with arthritis now, and he's already starting to walk funny, when he shuffles around. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. if I remember where you lived. He's holding out. Maybe my seeing eye dog can take me back. Well, YouTube really has taken a lot of people away from national TV, and because this is where the real people are. You meet really people that have lived life experiences and not easy fooling into all the crap they see on Facebook or Twitter or X or any of them places where they make money off and doom and gloom and anger and hate. When you look at a guy in the eyes, it's hard to hate him, or maybe it's easy to hate him. But one way or another, you can form an opinion about his actions and behaviors. Oh, Robin has a question. Go ahead, buddy. Kindergarten cop. What's your question, Robin? I don't see it. She needs someone. There you go. Well, I see you people as being real, and you don't live as long as I've lived without the ability to see through people's what they're trying to falsely create an image. You see the real person. Don't take long after you peel. It's like peeling back an onion. Pretty soon you get to the real person. And here you see that come out really quick because there's so many people in our lives that ask questions and present themselves in different ways. And I've got a best friend that does his best broadcasting from bed. I don't know, Motorbomb, if you saw, did Motorbomb leave us? I hope not. I don't know if you saw this morning, I played the raccoon video. The raccoon video that we named everybody they were all eating food out there on the back deck. Oh, okay. We began to name all these characters, and we had Shade Tree Surgeon. He was a big possum, was eating right along with the raccoons. And then there was I left it up to everybody who was watching the thing, which one could pick out which one was sick. And they all said, that one. that raccoon came up there, and after a few minutes, he laid down on his back, put the food over on his belly, and laid there on his back with his southern exposure all laid out there, was eating food right off in his little old belly. And he'd reach over and get him another handful, and he'd lay there and just pick it. And we've seen sick laying down there eating and drinking, and that was, to me, I thought it was funny. I couldn't wait to show it to him, and I saw him laugh too. I know he liked it. Well, it feels like I'm the only one doing the talking here, since I'm the only one on the screen. Everybody, I guess, just had a long day. Here it is, Saturday. And I think the World Cup, I think tomorrow they're running the last round of World Cup, I think. I never miss that race. And I like Sick Week. There's some serious racers across the nation. And I hear somebody knocking on the door.
Couldn't leave you sitting there by yourself. I'm pretty sure Uncle will probably pop in soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That way I don't
Can't
feel
leave an old dog sitting there by himself.
no. And you know what an old dog does when he sits around by himself, don't you?
I hope you can't lick your balls.
I've tried. God knows I've tried. Excuse me. That was a. I don't want to lead us down the wrong path here.
Yeah.
Well, you look no worse for wear. In fact, you look about like what I saw you this morning. Did you do anything exciting today?
No, I just stayed in bed all day. Yeah.
Oh, Robin, your wife wants to talk about diabetes, of course.
Okay. Yeah, give her a few minutes. She needs somebody to talk to about this. I don't know how she feels. You guys got to know how she feels more than I do, at least.
Yeah, I've only been a diabetic since I was 71, so I don't have as many years. Like now, you take sick, he knows everything about it, and I don't know how long Ray's had his, but I mean it's a sort of a trendy thing to have. Almost all the good people's got it.
Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't wait to get mine. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's a $1 trillion industry.
I was devastated when they told me. They told me that, and I go, "What?" They go, "Yeah, you got it." And I had to go to school for 2 weeks to learn about diabetes. They sent me to a school, and I went over there, and
Yeah, it teaches you about diet and everything. Yeah.
I found that everything is so delicious in my life. I was supposed to give up the cornbread, the biscuits, and if it's white, it ain't right. Oh, white rice, cream potatoes. If it's white, it ain't right.
When my buddy died at his funeral, they served everything he couldn't eat after his heart surgery. And then open bar funeral. It was epic. Yeah, that was an epic funeral.
Well, no, my mama, I loved my mama all of my life, and what she wanted this big burial thing. It's Irish in her, you know. So, but she also wanted the wake. All right, so now here's what happened. We planned the wake when we lived in Washington, which is, quite liberal compared to conservative Alabama. We had to look all around to find a place that would allow us to have a wake where we could serve alcohol, because the Irish, they go out with alcohol. We say goodbye. I mean, that's the way it's always been. I mean, you don't have to drink alcohol to go to a wake, but what I'm saying is, if my mama was there at her funeral, she'd have one with us, And so anyhow, we finally found the VFW club. I believe it's in Adamsville. They said, sure, you can have it. And well, you can't believe how much opposition we got. I said, my mother and all my brothers and sisters will tell you she wanted a wake. And I intend to give her a wake. And she got it. It made some of my folks in Arkansas and a lot of my Alabama folks, they go, well, we're not coming if they're going to serve that alky. I go, well, you don't have to drink it. Yeah, but it's going to be in the room. Why, hell, they got it in the city where you live. They got it in a liquor store. What do you do every time you go by a liquor store? You turn your head or go crawl in the trunk or something?
You spit on the ground.
Yeah. Hey, liquor store. I mean, people that got so caught up on sin is between you and God. And
people take it too far.
They send you to hell or to heaven or whatever. It's your behavior.
Just be thankful for what you have, and don't worry about what other people are doing.
Anyhow, but we learned when we got down here, my neighbors turned me in across the street. We had a pool, and we were back out there just drinking and celebrating the good life. We lived 40 years in the rain of Seattle. We come down here, we get us a pool, we're living the good life. They go, you can't drink alcohol in this county. I go, what? I go, this is a dry county. I go, you got to be kidding. We didn't put it away because that would have really made us mad, but we kept looking over our shoulders. And finally, I go to the courthouse and I go, I know this is a dry county, but can I drink in your county? Oh, yes, as long as you pay the taxes on it. And it's just a matter, you just can't purchase it in the county. I go, well, ain't that something? So we had to send a message over to the neighbors over there that would be drinking whenever we like to, because we're American adults, have paid and sacrificed away for them to criticize people. And they can do what they want to up on the hill. And they never spoke to us after that for 25 years. They still don't speak to us. Them damn heathens down there. So I throw a rock down there. My buddy Joe that comes here to visit me, he's a good friend of them over there. And after he was over visiting, they said, you got to stay away from them people down there. He said, oh, are they some new people? Yeah, they're from up yonder. And he said, like Tennessee? No, hell no. They're from way on up yonder, up there where them heathens and all them people are, them heathen, godless people. He said, you mean Arkansas? Oh, no, we're talking about way on up yonder. They're from that Washington. He said, you mean D.C.? He said, no, that other Washington. So they had already got the word spread out through the community. Don't have nothing to do with us. We're godless people, and we'll take your babies and eat them and everything. We're horrible people. Well, I've got neighbors that live here I've been here 25 years and never have ever spoken to me because they're afraid I might put a spell on them,
I always make an effort to go meet my neighbors, whether there's new people moving in or what. But now I'm out in the country. I know all my neighbors already, and I'm not going anywhere.
Well,
yeah, it's always good to know. Go ahead.
Oh, I was, I love living here. I love the weather. I love the idea that you can ride almost I ride all year long. I may not get to ride every day in January and February, but I'll ride some of the days in January. If it's above 50, I will ride. Even in my 80s, I get cold quicker than say you as a young man. So why be miserable? I can park mine out there and it don't have to run, but when I see a day and there's a break, I will, don't forget, I'll put the wizard move on you. If I see a break in the weather, I'm going to be on that bike because I like to do it.
My buddy just got a brand new Harley for Christmas. By the time he got to ride it, he rode it once and then went to work and broke his hand. He couldn't ride it all summer. So this fall, he's been trying to get on it as much as he could. It was so funny. You could barely drive the thing with that busted up hand of his.
Yeah, I broke my arm down in San Antonio, Texas. And when I broke my arm, I was riding my motorcycle. And so my arm, this bone right here was broken right there. So I rode my motorcycle over to the hospital in Wichita, Kansas, and they x-rayed it and they put a cast on my arm. And they put the cast on my arm on Wednesday. So now I had to go to the motor vehicle department on a Saturday to get my I went to my insurance company to get my insurance transferred over. I had Allstate insurance and give them my new address. And so on the way back from the insurance office, I came over on Topeka Boulevard in Wichita, Kansas, and a woman ran the red light, and I hit her at about 40 miles per hour right in the passenger door. Well, my hand comes off the steering wheel, went up on the post by the windshield, and busted the cast off my arm. Well, I just unpeeled the gauze off of it, and I was all swollen up. Well, the ambulance got there, and my wife was hurt real bad over in the right seat, and I had a little 3-year-old boy in the back seat, but they was tending to the people in the other car because they didn't have an out-of-state tag on their car. They was local people, and they got priority treatment. And I asked a couple of times when we were going to get treatment, and they was doing all this stuff for them people, and I said, she's bleeding real bad. And they go, well, now we'll send somebody over. We're trying to work on this woman over here. And so anyhow, finally they moseyed over, and I said, he said, are you hurt? I said, I got a broken arm. And he said, what makes you think you got a broken arm? And I showed him my arm was all swollen up. He said, that's bruising. He said, what would, other than that, he said, I see you moving your hand, and you can't have a broken arm if you're moving your hand. I go, well, you tell that yes. To the hospital in Wichita. They was the one that put the cast on my arm. I broke my arm on Wednesday. It's still a matter of record up there. Well, they loaded my wife in the ambulance, and when I was standing there, I said, let me get my little boy. They go, your little boy? I said, yeah, he's sitting in the back seat here. They said, you left that baby in the back seat of the car. I said, where in the hell was the car going to go? The whole damn car is totaled out, and her car is totaled out. We're sitting in the middle of the street. I don't think nothing's going to happen here. You got 1,000 officers surrounding me, you know. And he said, well, it's not safe. A car could have caught on fire. I go, if it had been outside, he got to have been hit by another car or anything. You see him crying, and they said, no. I said, he's all right. He's not hurt.
And he's fine.
They wanted to give me a lecture because I didn't just turn my boy loose and let him run around all out in the traffic of all them ambulances and stuff running in and out there, you know. Sorry, I don't mean to be bitching. This is Saturday night. This is a time to have a good time.
No.
But
I've run into incidences like that.
I was just telling you about my little experiences. And you know, the deal is,
I've had my house raided for guns and explosives because somebody didn't like me.
Oh.
Yeah, not drugs or anything. The drugs they found, they had to leave. They couldn't charge me for that because the warrants were only for guns and explosives. Yeah, I had 7 warrants for my arrest. Never charged. I'm actually friends with the actual lead detective now, who raided my house, which is kind of funny.
Well, you know, when you move to a new location, it takes a little while to I saw my neighbors. I was up there weed eating around the mailbox up there, and the neighbor was over there, and they said, you know, they spoke to me and everything, and they made a mention about my wife. They said, we haven't seen her in and out. Is she doing okay? I said, she died last year. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, she died. And she, you know, it's like the kind of neighbors we live in. It was like they were like, yeah, there's another one gone. But they couldn't run us out. They tried. He came over, the guy over there, and brought 3 of his really Bubba, no neck Bubba, and 2 of his other boys, you know, come over, and it was all spitting snuff. They had snuff in their lip, spit right into my backyard there, and he said, I'm going to show you this right here. And he held up a piece of paper, and he said, the Klan is live, and it's very active here in Coleman County. And if you act up just a little bit, they don't hesitate. They'll be out at your place and put a cross in your yard. I go, God damn, what is the rules? What am I not supposed to do? You just look wrong and they'll be out on you. I go, what? You read about all that kind of crazy stuff when you live in a liberal state, but when you get down here and you're confronted with the fact that your neighbor across the street, when he was 9 years old, he went to the last hanging in Alabama, right over here in Arkadelphia at the Baptist church. Right behind the Baptist church, they hung him, 19-year-old black boy. They run him down and hung him over there. So, and he was really proud. That was the first thing his daddy ever took him to. It was better than a state fair.
A hanging.
Yeah.
The last hanging in all of Canada was here in Manitoba.
Manitoba. Well, I think they might be rednecks in Manitoba. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I just go 20 minutes like west of here or east of here. And yeah, we have Amish and rednecks, like real rednecks, like rock farmers.
I think the man over here, he's a retired railroad worker. And I believe he was wanting to send a message to me that they run this neighborhood. Well, over the years, we've built a sort of a mutual coexistence. He waves at me and I wave at him, and we don't bother one another. But he also knows I'm heavily armed, and he would take a pretty good sized KKK militia to take me out. And not they wouldn't try.
Sorry, I'm Canadian.
Oh, it's just a different way.
Our government's taking our like actual hunting guns away, like a single shot shotgun, like a break barrel shotgun. Like he's banning our weapons from us. Like it's so funny. Like, what am I gonna go rob a liquor store with a single shot shotgun? Like, come on. Like a goose gun is the government's trying to do a buyback program for all our goose guns. Like, how are you gonna rob a store with a goose gun? You could barely get in the door with it. You know what I mean? It's just damn near as tall as I am.
That was like
I'd walk in the door and bust my chest open. Oh.
I told you this morning about carrying that 44 Magnum under my arm. And when the moment I saw a guy come through the door, I'm thinking this might be the moment when I may have to defend myself. I couldn't even use my arm. The arm had already went numb because it laid against the blood vessels. And my hand, I couldn't even, it was just like dead meat hanging out there. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to die today.
That's actually a pretty good story. See, the thing about concealed carry too, yeah, you got to watch with how you concealed carry. Is it useful? Is it going to obstruct veins? Are you going to go numb? Or is your body part going to get sore? Are you going to blow your pecker off?
Shh. There's a lady in here. Hey, Lucy. Sorry. She said hello to Motobomb, and she didn't even see me, and I'm sitting right here. Look. This is me right here. Go ahead, Motobomb. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to block you from. She waved at you and everything. You can feel at home on my page here, Lucy. We might even sing a song.
And Moto, you kind of shut down a half hour early.
Oh, Moto's already going to bed? No, I don't think Moto's going. Oh, there is. Oh, I guess that's an old one. Okay. I thought I was
that's
still.
Old one.
Yeah. Can't even buy a cap gun. My God, when we was kids, we had the minis. Okay. Oh no, Motobomb. It's Lucy. I told her. She hollered, "Hello, Motobomb," and I said, "Hey, I'm sitting right here. Can't you see me?" But I told her she'd always welcome to come to my page, and so she was waving at you. Yeah, CIA's got them trained. That's the reason I've got so many raccoons. They're working for the CIA. They get the intel here,
Oh, it's actually glued on. You see that picture, Mac?
Yep.
Yeah, that's me when I was like 6.
What was that, 8 years ago?
I can't believe I even have that picture. A friend of mine actually sent it back to me from when we were kids. She said, I thought you'd like this, and just mailed it to me. It still has the note on the back when I gave it to her. That's pretty cool. Little history, fun facts, and stuff like that when you're things that bring you back to your childhood, eh? That people remember.
Yeah. Here it is. Here's a picture of me from 44 years ago. Let me see. That's me right there, 44 years ago.
Ooh, wow. Wanted.
That's when, yeah. Wanted, dead or
Dead or
alive.
alive.
I got a picture of me when I was 3 years old in a chair next to an old automobile. I think it was like a 1930 something vintage car. And I was a little fellow. Back in them days, cameras was not as popular. You had to wait for the right occasion. When somebody come by, they go, "Oh, can I get a picture of you, little boy?" And they would sit there and snap a picture of you, And even in school, we had every October. I've got a book over here. It's got the first 6 years of my schooling, and every year, every one of those pictures, I'm barefooted in all those pictures because we didn't put shoes on until around the mid-November. And in October, they took the pictures of us, our school pictures. And yep, we was always barefooted.
Barefoot bandits. Just like them coons, eh?
Yep. I went out there today and I put the robins. I told you when I was on the air, the robins wanted to be fed. So I went out there and put feed on the top rail of the deck. So I looked out the window before going in. We had spaghetti today. I went in and fixed spaghetti. When I signed off here, I went and made spaghetti. Well, before I left here, I looked outside and there was a raccoon going right down that rail, just eating it just right down the line. Within a few minutes, that cup of feed was gone. He ate every speck of it. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, child. Uh-oh. Yeah, I got some of those pictures too. Oh, you. Oh, that's a good look. That's Victorian era pictures right there. Like
early date on this one. This one isn't marked. Actually, none of these are marked. I think this is like 1871 is this one right here.
That's beautiful. I mean,
I know that my buddy had doubles of this. His house flooded, and I went and saved all this shit from his house, and he had doubles, and I asked him if I could keep them. He's like, yeah, like these are like this one is in wicked condition though.
Wow. So well preserved.
Like, you know how still you have to be to take those pictures? I have pictures of Banff and Lake Louise, like from 1873. Pictures of Banff and Lake Louise. They're beautiful. I just can't get them right now. They're in the safe, and I'm not going to undo the safe right now.
Let me get a picture. I'll be right back.
So beautiful. You know how much money you had to have to be able to take pictures like that back in the day? You had to be fairly wealthy. You know, you don't just get pictures taken like that. And what's funny is the buddy that I saved those pictures from, or saved them for, he's the last of his generation. He has no siblings or anything. He's the last of that family, that royal family.
Okay, this gentleman right here is my grandfather, and that's his
Nice.
brother. And you notice the brother's got a gun in his hand. It runs in the family. That's my
Was it
that's
Billy the Kid?
that's my grandfather, and his name is Manny. And he had a twin brother named Gus. Manny and Gus was his two brothers, and they killed each other while they were swimming. One got sucked into a suck hole, and he grabbed a hold of his brother's throat and pulled him down. So, Manny, that's my two great uncles. That's my grandfather. He was half Cherokee
crazy,
Indian.
man.
He was half Cherokee Indian. Look,
Can
what
you
is
put
it?
it a little bit closer?
I don't know if I can do it where it be clear.
Can you put?
Oh, how can I block the light up?
I can see. Okay, there you go.
You see what's in grandfather's
awesome.
hand? See what's in my grandfather's hand? See that bottle right here, and it's got the cloth in the top?
A Molotov?
No, they didn't have those things back in them days. This is in the 1800s. That is a bottle of kerosene with a rag in it, and they would set 4 or 5 of them out there in the evening, and they would light them and keep the mosquitoes off you, and also it provide light. You know, instead of, well, they didn't have electricity in 18.
Okay.
They hadn't invented it yet.
It wouldn't break the bottle?
No, it only burns the cloth wicks up. It soaks
on the
up
wick.
Yeah,
it wicks up. Yeah, like
so
a kerosene lantern. Yeah, I understand, but
it's down in here.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the bottles now, because I've done that before now, and the bottles just crack. Maybe it's just the type of glass that they're using back then too.
Days, back in the days you had old big thick bottles, and now you can
imagine getting bottled back in the day with the thick bottles they had.
Yeah, they had big old thick bottles back in the day. The new technology, they make it real thin.
Do you know what the little ticks on the bottom of a beer bottle are? If you ever pick up a bottle, look at the bottom of the bottle. There's little ticks, like braille. That's how many times the bottle's been recycled.
Oh, really?
Sometimes you can get a bottle that has no ticks on the bottom. That's a fresh bottle.
I was reading the notes while I was gone here. Let me see. All my stuff is old. You got to keep in mind that my mother was born in 1919, and we in 1897 we owned everything between here and across the river over there. Our family did, and we married the people on this side of in 1867, 2 years after the Civil War. My relatives married and came across the creek, and they had all this land. In 1897, they left here and went to Jefferson County, about 35 miles from here, and had their first baby. My uncle was born, and then shortly after that, my daddy was born, and I returned. I was gone from. I was my last relative on this place here left in 1929 because she was married to some of the members of this family over here. And so I was the first original descendant of this land to return in 100 years. My generation of Turners left here in 1897, and I returned here in 1997, August of 1997, back to the land. So we got ties, from the old days. If that makes any sense. Oh, are you frozen up? Come on. Uh-oh. You're frozen up, man. Robin. Is that everybody? Oh, see, I'm the only one here now. Look at this. Well, Lucy, I'm an old family. I'm 84 years old, and all my family is very, very old. And we go back here. Our history goes back to the 1700s. The country was formed, basically became a nation in like 1796, not 1776, but 1796, somewhere in that period of time. And my cemetery opened up in the 1700s. After it became a nation, we wasn't even a state. Alabama was not a state until the 1800s. And so our generations go back all the way back to the fourth colony, back before, during the colonial days when we answered to the king. Oh, you're the sweetest human being. Yeah, I'm 84 years old. Just had a good laugh. I'm trying to think of firefighter grenade. No, I can't recall a fire. Is it something they started a fire with or put a fire out with? Oh. Well, my family that is left, my mother had 10 children, and there's 5 of us left. The oldest is 88. He's 88 years old. And the youngest is like 78. All right, he's back. He's back.
Sorry, I had a phone call.
It was a glass grenade filled with chemicals. I remember some of the early firefighting apparatuses they had. You had to break there was a thing you had to do to break the chemical glass inside of the container that made the
grenades. I've seen these. Yeah, they're like glass grenades, but they're completely sealed, and you just smash them, and there's a chemical inside that eats all the oxygen in the room, which should put the fire out. But that chemical is really poisonous. Just warning you, do not break one of those open. There's a reason they don't use those anymore. I've seen those. I used to be a wet inspector. That's wood energy technical training. So anything that burnt wood or solid fuels, I'd go in and inspect.
Now, I gotta work on Rod here. Rod B, just wait a minute now. I'm a liberated man living in Alabama. I'm 84, but my fire hasn't went out yet. Just because there's snow on the roof doesn't mean there's not fire in the furnace. Now listen here. Now listen up real close, Rod B. If she can cook and she has a bass boat with a 30 horsepower motor, I think I can work her in. Oh, there you go. Rod B, did you understand my message, man? She lives way off up there in Minnesota, so I'm really old. I'd be frail up there, you know. I'd be just, yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire below. Yeah, buddy. All I need is, I get me a woman, I'd say to her, I'd look her right in her eyes, and with my most tenderest voice, I'd say, come on, baby, light my fire. Oh, Rod B would want to have guarantee that the boat is real. And I think even Rod would probably negotiate a little bit. It don't even have to be a 30 horsepower Johnson. He probably could get by with a, like say a 6 horsepower, maybe just a kicker motor. If Rod was in the market for a woman. No, oh, the other day somebody showed us their boat, and it was a pontoon boat.
The wife's not going to do the talk.
Oh,
We'll do it another night.
is she mad at me?
She chickened out.
Is she mad at me?
No.
Oh, I don't want women to be mad at me. He's got the Johnson. I think we get you drift there. We already had a guy that come on early today wanted me to show. He said, "I think old Mac should show us his sausage." And the boys immediately put the hammer on him. They actually pulled the extension cord right out and everything.
That's what's good about having mediators.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
being a mediator gives us access to other people's channels too. So anyone who's on here, if we have a wrench, we can just jump onto their channel as well. If we don't have a wrench, we can't see the posts. We can't click on the links. Like, you know how Motobomb puts up the links? If you don't have a wrench, you can't click on those little links and be able to access them. That's what people are forgetting about a wrench. It's giving us access to other people's channels. Yes, there's people that don't deserve wrenches and stuff. I totally understand that. But you guys have to be vigilant yourselves about who gets a wrench and who doesn't get a wrench, because there's people in this community and stuff that we still don't have access to. I'm just saying.
Oh me. Anyhow,
How do you think I figured out who Lolly was? It's because I had a wrench.
how about that? I didn't know
Lolly's
that.
okay.
That's news to me. That is news to me. I'm like a mushroom. I stay in the dark a lot.
Yeah, fed shit all day, eh?
All day long.
Yeah, in the dark and fed shit all day. Yeah, that's how my dad treated me. Treated me like a mushroom. He'd call me first thing in the morning and be like, "This is what you're doing today." It's like, well, you couldn't call me last night so I could get ready for this.
Look right here. Look at who showed up in here. Look who's all up in my house.
Oh my goodness.
Miss EB. Miss EB. Hello, Miss EB. Wow, can't we just all kiss and make up? Look at that. Got a little kitty cat.
She's being a recluse right now. She's just getting into everything. Little pain in my ass. She's cute though.
Oh, you're on live on your channel, EB. Well, I've been stopping by, and I always catch you at the wrong time, but I usually throw a hand up over there, and you're getting closer and closer to your return home triumphantly. After serving many years abroad. Well, we got one black cat. It's a pretty serious cat. He loves me, but he don't like any other animal on the place. He likes the raccoons. But my cat and the raccoons have a peaceful coexistence. And I'll tell you something else he likes. He likes them big possums. He will not mess with any of the big possums. Now the possum ain't mean, but the possum gives that cat a look, and that cat will just walk right on by, kind of tiptoe by. I wish that girl would come in here and bring me some water.
Turning Chinese food. Oh, my one farm cat. Do you have muskrats down there? You got to have muskrats.
Sure, on the river.
Yeah. My cat, his name, number 2, my farm boy. He's killed 2 of them in 1 week, and he dressed it like a deer. He made a pile of fur, a pile of meat, and a pile of intestines. And yeah, he let that intestines cook on the concrete there for about a week, came back and ate it. But yeah, he dressed that thing like a deer. 1 bite right in the back of the neck, killed a muskrat. And muskrat's the size of my head.
In fact, I saw a picture of it on when I went down there and looked at your stuff today.
Yes, there is a picture of it there. Yeah, I was using it for food reviews. But yeah, he's deadly. That's my killer boy, and he's the nicest of the farm cats. The other one doesn't do anything. I keep telling you, get off. Or this kitten is just going crazy right now. You'd think it was a full moon.
Yeah, EB, I go to so many. I've got, like you, I've got a lot of friends all over the place, but I have a lot of my fellow workers that I have to go keep up with them, and they have their, I'm belong to a big gun group, and I have to go check into that group, and I've got a lot of groups that I don't say I belong to the group. I just visit the group and make a lot of appearances.
Hey Mac, you want to do a quick recap of like your quick history, just for people who are just getting in tune and stuff now? You want to do a quick recap of your life and how you got on here and what you did for a living?
I was born June the 30th, 1940. In a little town called Cardiff, Alabama. It's a coal mining community in Jefferson County, Alabama. That's centrally located. Raised up, went to school. When I got old enough to go into the military, I did. I didn't get to do it the way I wanted to. I could only do it as my mother would allow me to do, because she just lost a son 2 years before I signed up. He had just got killed in the Army, so it made it pretty tough on the family, but I did my thing. And then I went to the West and started marrying women all up and down the West Coast. And seemed like every time I went to a rock concert, I'd end up marrying another woman. It was just awful. It was awful, I tell you. And then I got to working for a large aviation company that made airplanes. In fact, they made stuff like this.
Nice.
That is I think it's they break the airplanes apart. They tear the wings off. They bust the fuselage. They're plane busters. And I worked for an organization that built them kind of planes. And I put in my time, and I spent 40 years in Seattle. And then I moved back here with wife number 5. And we lived here. Well, we was married for a few years before we came here, and then we spent the remaining years of her life, 33 years, and she passed on last year. So that's pretty well it. I got into the military division of Boeing. I spent 22 years in the missile field, where we developed missiles all around the world. The Patriot missile for the Iron Dome of Israel, all the different missiles that you can think of. I got pictures of many different ones hanging on the wall here.
Do you know who Gerald Bull is? HARP, HARP.
Yes,
He's one of the original founders of HARP. Gerald Bull. He was an artillery specialist. The CIA had him thrown in jail for selling weapons to, somewhere in Africa because of the weapons embargo.
Let me tell you about HARP. Let me tell you a little bit about what I know about HARP. We had a program called A Sky of Fire. Sky of Fire was, we went up above Nova Scotia, somewhere maybe between Gander, Iceland, Greenland, up through there, and we had
a facility in Greenland. Yeah,
we had a canister filled full of like iron oxide. It was super granulated powder, and we started dusting from up there by Greenland all the way across Canada and exited out over Vancouver Island, Victoria. Yeah. We exited into the Pacific Ocean that away. And then what happened when we dropped that dust out up there, down in Utah, we aimed our big, we had what's called a phased array antenna system. Yep. And we put something like 20 million watts of power into that dust. And we created an aurora borealis. And then while we had it lit up, we broadcasted signals and was able to transmit over 22 minutes of signal, because even though it only took it like 4 or 5 minutes for the cross Canada, 6 minutes at most, it left the dust, it lingered, and it slowly came back because it had enough of weight to eventually bring it back into Earth's gravity, back in the upper atmosphere. And then when it did, it started to glow, because as each particle bumped against each other, they created their own energy. And so when it lit up, we was able to send signals on it called Sky of Fire. And we did that. And after we proved the concept, they went up.
Nikolai Tesla. That was Nikolai Tesla who figured that one out.
He did a lot of testing with static electricity. He developed the coil. The very first coil was one of his things. He left a legacy to last forever. But
AC power.
Sure. They went up into Alaska and they built this great big unit that was just many towers.
The array in Alaska.
Yeah, and it was pointed up there, and they would heat the atmosphere up several thousand degrees of heat. And what we did was
change the weather.
Check this out for yourself. We moved the jet stream down, and when we did, it started snowing in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, weather changing machine.
It started changing weather, and when it began to hit and hurt us, and all of a sudden we had the biggest outbreaks of tornadoes ever recorded in history. They go, whoa, we might have shit in our nest right here. We better shut this sucker down.
Yeah, Tesla figured that out way back in the day. He's like, this is a deadly machine. You can use this for harm, earthquakes, everything. It can create everything.
Yeah, the phased array does not have to be. Well, I give you an idea. When I was over there in Missouri, we had an antenna in the ground in Missouri at one of my Minuteman silos down there. The antenna weighed 54,000 pounds. The antenna was 28 foot in length in a concrete vault. It was in the ground. It was LLF. Look up LLF frequency. Low. It's 3L frequency. One wavelength was from San Francisco to New York. And one wavelength at LLF frequency.
Yes, I got it.
So it's low. See, you got HF is all your ham radios are basically in the HF range, high frequency.
Yes.
And then when you begin to go down to like say 160 meters, that's on the edge of low frequency. That's
Yeah.
just the area. But when you go at the bottom of 160, you go down below AM broadcast, you're getting down in the low frequency, that bottom end of low frequency. And then you got 2 more L's to go before you get to the bottom, down around 34 hertz.
It's kind of like the dark web now.
And here's what you do when you're at that frequency. You broadcast into Earth strata. You don't broadcast sky waves.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in a submarine going under the Arctic Circle. I'm making that little path through there. I don't talk through the air because I can't get up through the ice to get a signal out. I have sonobuoys that picks up the signal out of the Earth.
Yeah.
At low frequency, LLL frequency.
Well, the rail system uses a type of frequency like that through the rail system now. Notice there's no lines next to the rail system. It's all run through the tracks. They use like a type of low frequency through the rail line.
In fact, I'm licensed an operator that I can go down to the first L, and if I go down there, I've got a certain amount because the railroad is down there in that first L in frequency. Because
Yes.
they use the rails themselves become the antenna, and they just pick it up out of the rails.
Yeah, that's why they don't have the phone lines right next to the train tracks anymore. Man, somebody could make some major money going and collecting all that wire. It's all aluminum. Oof. Imagine just coiling all up that aluminum. Somebody could make a fortune. Actually, there's a guy here in Manitoba who bought these old rail line sections. And this is when Gillette came out with the disposable razors in the 1980s, 1987-ish. He was selling these rail lines to Gillette, and they were just stamping out razor blades with these old rail lines. He made a fortune. He was like a billionaire overnight.
Wow.
Manitoba, Brandon, Manitoba has the most millionaires per capita in all of Canada. I don't know if it's a tax haven or what, but there's a lot of billionaires and millionaires in Brandon. It's just a little town, little city.
Looney was talking about Dave eating roux. I watched Dave eat roux.
Oh yeah,
there,
and he didn't get sick.
No, he barbecued it. I mean, he rotated it there, And
Have you had roux, Mac?
No.
I had it in Quebec.
Roadside jerky.
Yeah, it's chewy as hell. It's chewy. It's very muscular. Not sinewy, just chewy. What you think is fat is just tendons.
At one time they tried to market here in Alabama. They tried to market not emu. They did market emu.
Yeah,
emu. Yeah, the bigger one, the ostrich.
No, it's emu. Emu's the one you eat. Ostrich, you don't eat ostrich. You eat emu. If it's posted as ostrich meat, it's not ostrich. It's probably emu.
Okay. I knew they eat emu meat, but I'm sure I was seeing it where there's advertised ostrich. I know it's against the law to have a pair of ostrich boots. The skin to make the boots. It's against the law. You can't own certain. They considered some kind of a
protected animal.
Protected animal, yeah. But emu nice eating. Well, we had to try it out, but we eat an emu egg right here at our house. Ruth fixed. She broke it. She had to take a ball peen hammer to break the egg, but she broke it. She wasn't determined. Yeah.
There was a guy here in Canada. He got 4 years in jail for shooting a bald eagle. 4 years in jail for shooting a bald eagle. That's how protected those animals are. He got like a pedophile or a rapist charge in jail for shooting an eagle.
You gotta be kidding.
4 years. No shit. I'm sorry. Pardon my language.
Well, you're doing good there. You've
Yeah,
caught your
I'm trying.
still. Yeah, you've done good. You're doing good.
I'm trying.
Well, I thought my son might be calling here, but he probably got off and went shopping right off the bat. It's getting that time of the year where you gotta start shopping, getting ready for Thanksgiving. That's coming here. What about another 3 weeks?
Christmas.
So yeah,
And you got Memorial Day.
yeah,
Don't
you got
forget about
all.
Memorial Day.
Well, that's way up in May. We got a
What?
lot of time. Yeah,
What?
Memorial.
Okay, we have Remembrance Day on the 15th of November. Remembrance Day is like when we remember D-Day, Vimy Ridge.
Maybe November 11th.
Oh, 11th. Sorry, thanks, babe. Sorry, November 11th is Remembrance Day.
Yeah,
Thanks to the wife in the background.
I think we have Veterans Day as a different. Yeah, there's.
That's Veterans Day then. I
Yeah,
always get it confused because I'm Canadian and you guys are American.
but they always tell me which one is which. I know at the company we didn't get a whole lot of holiday pay. We got paid holiday at the end of the year, and we get 14 days off. Is that your veteran pin or?
It's a poppy. This is for the this is for the wind talkers actually.
Yeah.
This actual pin, it's made out of beads. It's
Yeah,
for the wind talkers in World War II.
They used to come around and solicit money for the veterans, and you'd get one of those little poppies there if you donated to the veterans.
Well, I'm a Legion member, so Legion. I'm not Army Navy member though.
I used to go to the bar at American Legion over there in Brookside. That's a little town, and man, that was the best bar. They had the coldest beer.
Yeah, and no one ever got into a fight. You're always safe there. You're always safe at a Legion.
Everybody there had already got all their fighting out of their system. They was ready for a cold beer.
Exactly. That's why I like the Legion. It's always a good place to have a good conversation. There's always someone there willing to listen to.
I'm finally going to get some water. Rod was thinking he's going to come all the way from Australia to bring me a jug of water. And she just come in, so she's going to save me. She's going to get me some water. You know,
pretty wicked, and it's on leather. It's all made on leather.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, I'll put up a link of what the Legions are doing here. A picture of it's amazing. All hand stitched poppies, and then they drape it over the sides of the Legions here. It's beautiful.
Well, Rod, I was going to tell you, one time they sent an upgrade for the Nike missile system, and that's what guards all your military Air Force bases. And so they sent a team to meet up with me in Sedalia, Missouri. And then I had to take him to Fort Leonard Wood to meet up with the Army, and the British had the British commandos, and he had the Aussies that was there, the Australian. It'd be like whatever your top team is in Australia. They're like your Army Rangers, but they're
SAS.
What? No, these are military guys.
Yeah, but SAS.
No,
I'm pretty sure Australia and Britain is still SAS.
Is that what they call the top? No, when the British guys came over, they were like our special forces.
SAS.
Well, they wore the little short pants, and the Aussies had their little bush hat pushed up on the side. But they got a big turtle. They got a big turtle out of one of the lakes, a big soft-shell turtle. And them Brits got together, SAS. Oh, you was right there, buddy. I say I wouldn't question you. I just didn't know. They cooked that big turtle. And then all day long while we was traveling out there to the Nike site, they was gathering herbs and spices and stuff. It was growing locally there in Missouri. And when they cooked this thing, I never eaten turtle before in my life, and they just took a fork and picked out some of the bigger chunks of white meat. And they say it tastes like chicken, but buddy, it was seasoned good. The Brits are not big about eating hot peppers and stuff, but it had a nice brothy flavor. And that was my first encounter of eating turtle. I've eaten it since then, but I was hungry. That was quite a deal there. They had us in an old. They put us in an old wooden army barracks there at Fort Leonard Wood, and when we came back in off this exercise, we was all just exhausted. We got in there and the air conditioner went off, and we lay there and wallowed in our sweat. Man, that was hot. It was a hot time.
I have a Canadian version of the SAS manual. It's like this thick. I just went to try and look for it, but it's not where I put it last. But the Canadian version of the British SAS manual, it's this thick, and it tells you how to survive in any conditions, how to look at the clouds instead of following weather patterns and stuff like that. It's unreal. What to eat, what you can't eat, what's poisonous, how to make traps.
I remember up here on the shoulder where the strap is here, it said commando right here, written right as circular around the arm. And that's what they all wore. And that might have been just their bush clothes they was wearing, but they had short pants on, and we all had BDUs on. And they never got a tick on them, and we were eat up with them. Because they said it was the food that we eat is what drawed the ticks.
Yes, it is. It is, truly.
It had to be, because we was the only ones that got ticks, and neither the bush people of Australia, they didn't get ticks, and neither did the Brits. We did. We got eat up.
There's tricks, like you take your ash from your fire in the morning and you rub it up and down your legs, and you don't have to worry about like mosquito bites or ticks or stuff like that. The lye from the natural fire keeps the insects away from you. Like the ash is lye.
Oh, okay.
Can you tell I've read that British Secret Service manual a couple times?
Rod, it was a Canadian boy's big book of adventures.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. Well, I built some of the traps, and some of them it says do not use for humans, and it says straight in the manual, do not use for humans. They had to put that warning.
Well, there's a lot of things. If you try to follow some of those manuals, they're written in the military jargon, and we'd do translating. Southern boys would translate what it was been written there. You know what they was trying to say, what they was trying to tell us, because we already knew this stuff.
That's perfect for human traps.
We live in the woods, and we know about that kind of stuff.
Willow trees. Oh, willow trees are awesome for traps.
Oh, we set so many traps for birds. We were really good at it when we was young. Yeah, bird traps. We read all that stuff, and I built an aqualung, and I got my brother and our good friend Jimmy Gibson, and they was up on a raft, and they had a hand pump, and I had on my chest a tank, and they would pump air into my tank, and I had a mouthpiece, and so they had me strapped up with a hose, and I would go down, and so we experimented, and we got where we was really good at it. And so I had a belt on me so I hold myself down, and I went down, and while I was down there, I was amazed by everything you could see at the bottom of the river. And when I looked up above my head, there was like a 6-foot cottonmouth moccasin going above me. Oh, he was swimming above me.
I don't do snakes, but
if you'd have looked down and seen me, well, me and him would have had a tussle.
Yeah, did you poop yourself a little?
No, what made me poop, I was about 30 feet down, and what made me poop is the air quit coming into my tank, because see, they had already jumped off the raft when the snake tried to crawl up onto the raft, and they jumped, and there was nobody pumping up there, and I have to pull myself up because I couldn't get my belt loose. I had one old Army belt that you had to twist and turn to unlock it, and I couldn't get it loose, and I pulled myself all the way up there, and I go, man, when I got to the top, I was mad.
Ooh, that was a good story. You gave me the shivers.
Yeah, it was. Well, we did a lot of stuff back in the day. We'd read popular science and we'd have to try it. So my uncle talked about parachuting into St. Lo in France during the war. And so, hey, we theorized if you took a bed sheet, and my mother used to make the best bed sheets that was made out of real fine fabric, you know. So we tied ropes on all four corners and made loops so we could stick our hands up and hold on, pulled all four ropes together. So when we jump off the roof, it would fill full of air. And my brother stood up behind me, and they had the parachute stretched out. So when I go over the edge, it'd fill up full of air. Just about the time that the parachute filled up, that's when I hit the ground. Boom. Yeah. I said, man, that was a good jump. And man, it just drove my ankles right up into my eyeballs.
Yeah, I had a buddy break his jaw doing that, and we egged him on. Do it. By the time that parachute opened, his knees were in his jaw. Yeah. Didn't break his teeth, though.
Hey, we forgot to tell Motorbomb about his cousin. You remember Motorbomb's cousin? Maybe it might have been a Desert Outlaw. You remember the guy that jumped out from outer space from a balloon?
Oh. Yeah, whose cousin was that now? Was it? I don't think it was. Was it?
We was going
it Motor Bombs, or was it?
The guy's last name was Baumgartner, same as Motorbombs.
Oh yes, it was Baumgartner. Yeah,
Felix
he did that.
It was
Red Bull jump.
It was Desert Outlaw. He was in here, and Felix. We was going to bring it up to him. I wasn't on the night, but when he came on a while ago, I wanted to mention about his cousin. Did you bring it up, Desert Outlaw? Did you ask Dean if that was his cousin? Oh, man. We'll have to, maybe if he's on in the morning, we'll ask him. Because, how many Baumgartners can there be in the world?
No, trust me, it's like Smith. My last name, there's only a few.
It's popular, is it?
Yeah, it's pretty popular, Baumgartner. My last name, yeah. It starts with a Z. Notice how I said Z, not Z?
Not Z, yeah.
That's my Canadianness.
Well, being a ham operator, we also use Z for Z. And then the whole new crop, and by the 80s, a whole new crop of ham operators came in, and they would say zebra or Zulu, which is popular. Zulu is popular.
Yeah. That's old Vietnam stuff.
But Zed was the more popular one. It was the one that the right phonetics. And then by the time the 90s rolled around, the new crop of ham operators was using the international phonetics, was like wild dogs of African names. Nobody had ever heard of them, I
listened to that ham radio you had. That was awesome. That brought me back to my childhood, man. There was this old German fella who was trained in the Canadian Army, and he had a ham radio. And every time I had a chance, I'd be like, can we go play on the ham? And just the list of characters that we had on the ham radio is almost like what we have here right now. It just unreal. Everyone had a handle. Everyone spoke their mind. Everyone's picking on each other. It was fun. We're all poking at each other. It was fun as a kid.
Well, hang on. I'm gonna show you something that you will just make you foam at the mouth. This is if I've still got it here. Here we go, right here. Check this out. No. That ain't the one I want. No. Let me see if I can. I'll remove this one. No, I'll take this one out. Remove from stage. I picked the wrong file there. Let me get the right file.
Take your time, Mark. Not in a hurry.
My new station. I guess I didn't save it. No, I guess I didn't save it.
Oh,
Well, I can show you one. Okay, long line. Okay, yes. It's not. Uh-oh. There
there's
we go.
always a back door into something.
Oh, I can't do that. While hang on. Let me turn this off right here, and then I can bring him on the stage, and I go back over and look. I'm gonna go over and look and see if I brought that file in. I wanted you to see this.
Oh, I told you he's going to be in. Just a little late. Only an hour and 30 minutes late. Thanks there, Outlaw.
Oh yeah.
I'm Beavis, your butthead.
Fire.
Well, here I want to show you this, and this is not the newest, and that was new for that period of time. Oh, Mr. Curtis, N4D out here. I was had to set up a whole lot of things. First, we'll start out with, as you can see over here, I'm working FT8. I'm making a call now to Serbia, SERBIA, and as you can see up here, as I'm talking to you, you can see all my
Frequencies.
kind of light in my room here. Anyhow, there's my voice patterns and all that kind of stuff, and the amplifier's over there doing its thing. Anyhow, let me see what your signal looks like there, Mr. Curtis, and we'll see how the little video turns out. Go ahead, N4 DRR.
N4 DRR. This is KF4RCY. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, horrible. Operating Missouri up in Occidental area. And I'm
That's
trying
pretty
to
cool.
area over.
Oh man, you did good. You did good there. Let me see. I've made 3 calls to Serbia, and I'll show you here. I'm going to show you. You'll get to see the transmit here in a minute. Right now it's on the receive, and it takes 15 seconds or so, and you'll see the RF go out. I'm running 40 watts of power. I believe you can see that. It's hard to see on these screens, but anyhow, it's over there making contact now. It's
How much would a rig like
I
that
say,
cost there, Mac?
I'm transmitting 40 watts of power out, and while I'm sitting here talking to you. Okay, the one to the left there, that's about $4,000. The one in the middle, the next radio there, that's less than $2,000. But the amplifier over there is $5,000. That other box.
And then the tower.
Oh,
You got a
that's priceless. But see, there's 2 different things there. The one on the right, where I said I'm going to show you my transmit, it was on an entirely separate antenna system.
Okay.
It works. It works the moon and all that stuff. You know, it's EME, and that antenna out there was specially dedicated just to that middle radio. The first radio that I was talking to the gentleman, it covers all of the amateur bands, all from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
And the display, what I was showing the other day, Motobomb, our audio by the law has to stay within 3 kilocycles. And if you look back at the signal, you see my signal's well within inside the 3 kilocycle signal. You want to make sure you kind of carry it out as far as you can, but not to exceed 3 kilocycles.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
far as-
I understand.
And so when you looked over on the FT8, that radio, see, when I was talking to the gentleman there, I was running 1,500, 1,500 watts or so. But when I was on that little radio, I was only operating at 40 watts, 30 watts. And that I was making contact with Serbia on that radio there. And I was doing it through that other antenna system. So I'm running 2 systems at the same time.
The towers don't interfere with each other?
Oh, hell no, they're in a world apart.
Okay.
They're in different frequency bands. They're
Hey,
Yeah,
my mission in life now is to get a ham radio, and I want to talk to you, Mac, on a ham radio. For real. I've always wanted a ham radio since I was a kid, and they're not cheap
you
up
asked
here, man.
a friend that lives in Valdor. Him and I talked for 20 years from right here. We talked
Yeah.
back and forth, and we're
Isn't that
talking about,
amazing?
we're
It's
talking about,
amazing, man. This is like before YouTube.
we're talking about a 2009 signal, very strong signal. And here is my buddy. Hey, sick.
Hey, Sick. What's up, bud?
Dude, did you see Max space station he has set up?
Yes, dude.
That
That's
thing's
ridiculous.
insane.
That's insane.
Yeah, that monitor up there, that was a 30-inch monitor there. One of those little Dale thin things for the ham radio. Let me tell you what happened there. Lightning struck here and killed all that stuff you've seen up there. It killed everything in here.
Wow.
It killed that TV right there. It killed my radio station. It killed my wife's TV, a big screen TV up front, and killed Angelique's TV over here. It killed the TV upstairs. You can't believe the cost. Just one lightning strike.
Did you put an insurance claim in on that? I mean, you should have put an insurance claim in on that.
Everything's insured. They didn't even question it because it was one of the largest lightning outbreaks. And they know by the law, I have to run an engineered developed station. It has to be certified as being meets the requirements of the FCC for me to go in the air. I can't be CB where I can just run a piece of wire out there and hey, 40 Roger D, good buddy, by golly, kick it back, bring it on, Mercy sakes, Scott Baker. How about a 10-4 radio check? Come on, got your ears on. You can't do that stuff. It has to be all legitimately operated and all that stuff. So they know the insurance can't question me because I've got license says my station is up to par, just like you with insurance. They always just write a check.
Yeah, that's nice. That's what it's not, I feel like that's the key to life sometimes is just to do it right.
And this day and time, all that equipment now, if I was to replace all that equipment, I never replaced, there's none of it replaced. None of it was ever
Some of
replaced.
that you can't replace.
Well, it's all that new digital stuff is currently, you can buy stuff like that. But my wife was at the process of dying at the time. So we devoted the rest of the time after the lightning hit in there. We just give up on the radios and all that stuff. And I was kind of like riding my time out too, so.
That's sad, Mac.
It's life, man. You just gotta.
Yeah, I know. It's like being in a house fire. You lose everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, lightning is a real serious killer. I had a buddy. He's an airline pilot. He's an airline pilot, and let me show you. Let me show you my little buddy. My buddy, he's 6'3". I call him my little buddy. My little buddy spent 15 years in the Air Force as a pilot. He flew B-52s, C-141s. He flew, and then after he did his military thing, he started flying for U.S. Air, and he retired as captain on U.S. Air. 40 years of aviation, and the guy was just one of the greatest guys, down to earth. Let me introduce you to my friend named Mike Wicker.
You don't know how to share.
Shut up, Sick.
Sorry, I'm talking to the dog. I'm so sorry, Mac.
I just wanted to show you my little buddy. He was just a super nice guy. Where in the hell are you at? Well, maybe I'm not going to be able to show you. I might not have saved that one. Anyhow, he. I swear I did save it. Let me see. I don't know where it would have saved it to. There's another possibility. Y'all just bear with me. Y'all can talk amongst yourself there, and I'm going to try to find where I shared that damn
Come on,
video.
speak your mind, outlaw. You're always sitting there quiet in the background.
Oh man, I'm just listening.
I found him. I just took a little while to dig through all my scratching here. This is my friend Mike Wicker. He was a real Southern gentleman. And I went to his house. He had his own airport. He had his own airplane. He had his own hangar. He had his own runway. And me and him, we went everywhere and done everything you can imagine. The guy was super pilot. He could do anything. But that's Mike Wicker, and Mike would he would break out his fiddle while flying on U.S. Air, turn the cabin. He'd ask anybody want to hear some music, and he was a great singer. He sang Appalachian style blues,
That's hilarious.
and he
That's
would
awesome.
when it was lightning and
Just
thunder.
crack out the fiddle.
Oh, yeah, he'd crank up the fiddle, and he would play for them. He was the fiddling airline pilot. That guy was so cool. He flew in all those LZs back in the day of Vietnam, hauling troops overseas.
That's so Newfie. That's
Yeah,
so
he-
Newfoundlander. Where's 2-4 right now?
Where's 2-4 at?
Yeah, he'd get a kick out of that, man.
He could
He'd
play.
crack out the spoons.
He could play anything,
Did
and
you use just
and he-
the wire, or did you use the battery?
Just the wire.
Oh,
Yeah.
so the wire's plugged into that now.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna have to plug them back in.
Okay.
Just leave them for-
All right.
he was the greatest guy. He was a little bit younger than me, and he came over, and many a time he used to come over and warn me when the ATF was in town.
Leia, go lay down.
Who's behind you, sick?
Go lay down.
I was gonna ask the same thing.
Man, yeah, and
Who's
yeah,
behind you, sick?
That's Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Jen, say hi.
Hi, Jen.
Bye.
That's your dog sitter?
No, that's my ex.
Oh, sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Can she cook, and does she own her own bass boat?
Can she cook, and does she own her own bass boat?
I'm looking for a good woman. Now she's got to have a motor too,
Oh,
That's great.
At least the
probably got
30
a good.
horsepower.
She probably got a good motor, Mark.
Yeah.
But I cannot believe Lucy is still here. We have all been nice and well behaved tonight, but now this Mike, he come over one time, and we were out here. We fed him a nice good dinner, and my wife loved him. He was such a Southern gentleman, and so she fed him a really nice dinner. And he was telling me, he said, I've been having indigestion for 2 or 3 days. And I said, well, what are you taking for it? He said, I eat a little Tom's, or I maybe take some of that pink stuff, And I said, you ought to go to the doctor if you got indigestion for 2 or 3 days. He said, no, I've had bouts of this. He said, when I used to fly into Vietnam, I used to have bouts of this quite regular. I go, I can understand. Goes home and dies on us. Oh, yeah.
Sepsis, probably.
Couldn't believe it. Oh, you'll know an old guy has a lot of stories about his friends dying, because that's what happens when you get older.
And the
definitely.
funerals get smaller as you get older.
Oh man.
You
That
can't.
is sad.
You couldn't
It
even.
is sad. No, like seriously, my almost 70% of my friends are all dead.
Yeah.
You can't even hire the young people to go to the cemetery anymore. They go, "Oh, that's too depressing." No, we don't do that kind of shit. Send us.
Remember, you used to be able to go to cemeteries and you'd have a picnic with your wife. Remember those
Cemetery
days,
was
Mac?
all right.
We used to have what's called Decoration Day when we went and had picnics at the cemetery and spent the day with our deceased relatives.
Exactly. We need to do that more
Yeah,
again.
I try to encourage, and I go up there and I do videos every year to get them encouraged, to get the young ones that lives here in Alabama just come and visit grandma and grandpa. I've got people laying up there for the 17 and 18 early 1800s laying up there in that cemetery, and I don't even know who that old man is.
That is.
Your great
But
great grandfather.
you're showing respect. I did 5 cemeteries in one day just to go show my respect. I didn't know the people there who were buried. I just showed my respect.
And you know what? They probably like it if they are watching over.
Yeah,
They probably
exactly.
respect that.
You know, that angel on top of you, and sometimes you don't know who's looking after you when you need them most.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
And I don't do it for that reason, though. I do it as a sign of respect. Like, when was the last time someone came and seen this person? It's just a sign of respect. Like, hi, I'm here for you, whether your relatives are all dead, and they can't come and see you anymore. I still show up.
the last time I went to the cemetery for a decoration dinner, I go over and I meet all these fine folks. They're my relatives, and they come on over, and we started talking. And pretty soon I see my sister up on the hill, and she was waving at me. And I go, "Excuse me, my sister wants me up there. Maybe some of the other relatives, I might get a chance to meet them." So I go trudging up there, and they said, You can't eat with those people. I said, "Them's our relatives." They said, "Yeah, but in 1977, they had a big falling out, and they don't speak to one another." I said, "Well, that's not my business." He said, "Yeah, but you live here, and you don't want to make them mad." So I said, you want me to vacate those people?" They said, "Yeah, because these are more bloodline right here. Those are not as much bloodline as these right here." I said, "You got to be kidding." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go down and say goodbye to them and come up, and then I'll say my hellos and leave." I never went back. I just,
No.
why would you pick a cemetery to have a feud?
Yeah,
that's a faux pas.
that's a crazy.
Faux pas.
That's kinda
That's
crazy.
bad juju right there.
I think that would be something you'd want to keep away from the cemetery.
Oh, it's like getting into a fight at a wedding. Who
So-
gets into a fight at a wedding? Oh my goodness. You want to see Bridezilla? Yeah, get into a fight at wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, times have changed, and I remember one of our holidays was always Easter, and that was one my mother would make sure all of her clothes were ironed and starched and pressed, and the girls had to wear the right skirts and the right blouses, and they'd have their little yellow hats on and Easter stuff, And you'd go up at the cemetery, and everybody was dressed to their nines, the best that they had. I don't care how dirt poor you was, you wore your best clothes up there at Easter. Now you go up there and they got knees hanging out of their Levi jeans and their ass hanging out, and we don't even know what this celebration is all about.
Yeah, now it's just a barbecue. It seems like.
Yeah, eating Easter eggs, But we're kind of crazy about Easter eggs too. I usually boil. Yes.
Okay. Next time you guys drive by a funeral or a cemetery, go and stop in.
Yeah.
Just go and stop in. It doesn't hurt you. It's not going to hurt anyone else. But next time you drive by a cemetery, go stop in. Go do a walk around, okay?
And we do that. That's what we do. We go to a lot of cemeteries. That's not because I'm glorifying death, but it's just out of respect for the ones that's laying there that I remember those people.
No, exactly. No, that's awesome, Mac. I think that's like why we get in common. Like we think like-minded like this.
I just believe, these people right here that built that flag, and you got your Canadian flag or whatever, but
Yeah,
this
with the
flag right
Union.
here, a lot of people laying in my cemetery that died building that flag. And they died for many different administrations. It has nothing to do with your political affiliation. When you lay in that ground, the last thing is on your mind is what party you belong to.
Exactly.
That'd be the last thing to be on your mind.
Yeah. It's about remembrance.
That's right. Well, I guess everybody is starting to head out to go to bed.
Oh, sick.
I'm not
The
going to be.
wife is almost done her show, and I want her to talk to you about diabetes. Sick. I'm really glad you're on here, but I think the wife doesn't want to do this because I'll turn the camera off
Yeah.
but she needs somebody to talk to about diabetes, and I think you're probably the person to talk to her.
Sick knows more about it than I would ever even think about. I've only had it since I was 71.
Yeah.
He's had a
Here,
lifetime.
I'll go grab the wife, and I just want her to like get some stuff off of her chest because like it's building up on her. She needs somebody
Is
to
she
talk
insulin dependent?
Yeah, she's very independent.
No, is she
No,
is she insulin
it's
dependent?
diet right now, but she still has like the legs, numb feet, don't get cuts, stuff like that. And with the breast thing isn't good either. But she
I
needs
don't
to talk
judge,
to somebody.
Robin.
Hey, babe.
Oh, Lucy, let me tell Lucy over here, she believes in paranormal spirits. Let me tell you what has happened since my wife has died. I should have told this before Halloween. I've had her spirit to come here 4 times to me, and she sat on my bed over there, sat down, and I felt the weight of the bed, and I woke up. I was asleep, and I felt the weight of the bed. She turned to me, and I'm going to tell you, the day before she died, she came to me in a black spirit. It was all black, but I knew it was her. And then when she came the next time, she was all in a white spirit, very clear, translucent. And she just turned and looked at me over there, and she had a slight glow to her, and then she was gone. But I've had a couple more. One of them was holding my arm up. I mean, I'm asleep, and I felt my arm moving, and my arm is held up, and there's this image that I can't make out holding my arm. I went, oh, and then she let go, and I've had 4 of those visits.
That's not.
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe in that.
I could tell you something that's like that.
That's crazy.
Well, share it with us.
All right. So a long time ago, not a long time ago, I'd say 2018, a long time ago, 2018, I had a buddy hang himself in the barn on the ranch. And so I went, identified his body, yada, yada. And about 1.5 years later, I started talking to his ex-wife. And so we were laying there in the bed about 2, 3 in the morning. And after stuff was done, I put on I had one of his shirts on because I couldn't find my shirt. And so I'm laying in bed, and I just got like a weird, sickening feeling. And she's in the middle of a ranch. There's nobody out there. There's nobody on the property. And I rolled over, and she has a big window next to her, like in the bedroom. And I roll over, and there's like a silhouette, looks a black silhouette, like a 3-dimensional kind of like I could tell it was him, but you like no real like description on face or anything. And then the same like he had a little phone and the same glow with the phone like peeking in, and then I rolled over to wake her up, rolled back over, and it was gone. And we went outside. I checked for footsteps, no footsteps in the dirt, nothing. I was like, damn, that was absolutely him chilling right there.
Yeah, that's messed up. I've had moments like that too. A lot.
Ooh, that shit still
Yeah, I
gives me
know.
chills.
I got 3 ghosts out here at the farm.
Yeah.
There's a little girl in white, There's a guy in all black, you can't see his face, and then there's an old man in coveralls who's always astonished. Every time I bring out a power tool, he's always standing over my back, watching me and astonished that I have like a battery powered drill, like a Makita or a Milwaukee. And he's just astonished, like, you don't need to plug that in.
Picture of
But
the
he's always standing behind my back every time I pull out a power tool.
password.
No.
The wife will be here in a moment. She's going pee.
Okay.
Another spooky one is there's a property right on 22nd, and that's where we used to store the hay at. And I would go by myself to go move the hay. And there's a big blue bandsaw right to the right of the house on the north side of the house. And a few years prior to that, the husband went like deranged in the house and ended up killing this whole family and chopping them up on that bandsaw. So there's times where I'd be moving hay and get real dizzy, and I could look towards the window, and you could just see somebody's like another silhouette just standing, and then boo, peer off. And I was sure it's one of their family members or someone stuck there, but I was like, ugh, dude, oh man, I'd throw the hay as quick as I can and get out of there.
I've only had 5 of those visions in my 84 years of living. After my mom passed, she sat on the side of the bed and she said, first name is Jerry. She said, Jerry, get up. And okay. We're ready.
Sick. Yeah, she's up and ready. I'm gonna turn the camera off though. You talk about your diabetes and how your legs and stuff feel. They're just numb. What happens when somebody touches it and stuff?
They're very sensitive.
So they're numb, but they're sensitive.
Yes.
And what do you do for
You can't
medication?
do nothing.
You're on diet.
You're not doing nothing. You don't need anything anyway. So. Other than junk food. That's pretty fun.
Yes, she does survive on junk food.
Yeah, that's not good. So, what? When were you diagnosed with diabetes, and what kind of diabetes were you diagnosed with? Type 1 or type 2, and are you insulin dependent or non-insulin dependent?
When I had my first kid, I was gestational diabetes.
Okay.
And then after my third one, it was just continued diabetes, but could never afford medication.
So, do you shoot insulin?
Pardon?
No, she doesn't use insulin.
I used insulin a few years ago.
The pill form.
No, I poked myself with needles.
So you don't know what your sugars are or your A1C or anything?
No, she doesn't.
No, they're probably really high.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
So
have lots of stress in my life. A lot.
So
and
what
that doesn't help.
What do you want to do? No, I'm a very real person. So I know diabetes, and I know how it can beat you down physically, it can beat you down mentally, it can make you depressed, it can make your feet hurt, it can make your legs numb, it can make your feet numb, it can have side effects, you can have skin problems, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So I get it. So I just need to know what you want to do.
I know I have to make changes.
Yeah. So you gotta start to look at it like not necessarily like a fight for your life or anything, but you need to look at it like it's, because it is a fight for your life, but you don't have to be like that dramatic about it if you don't want to be. But you need to like look at it like how can I realistically make a difference in it? So can I eat less bread? Can I eat less potatoes? Can I have
The
wheat?
last little while, I don't eat anything.
That's another.
Can I cut a majority of sweets out and
Oh,
just
I would love to do that. I could live on salad, guaranteed.
yeah. I mean, if you're into salads, okay, if that's your thing, you can still make a sweet and carby salad without even trying. Add dried cranberries, add what a
That's your favorite salad is dried cranberries.
croutons, add your favorite dressing, and next thing you know, the calories are going up and up and up. I don't care about the calories.
Dressing.
I care about the sugar and the carb intake. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're into salads, like I couldn't have a salad a day. I could have if I really wanted to, I could probably have maybe 1-2 salads a week at the most, if I wanted to.
Even
that
a
was
stir fry, anything with lots of vegetables is my cup of tea.
Do you like tuna fish?
Yes, as long as it's good tuna fish.
Okay, so tuna fish is good. Don't forget all your sandwiches, all your burgers, all your stuff. If you could deal with it without bread, that's fine and dandy. Like I'm fortunate enough to have an insulin pump and a sensor that I can program the carbs I'm eating into the app, and it will do the calculation for me with my blood sugar, whatever number it's at, and it will give me the desired calculation of insulin. So it's not that I can eat whatever I want. Like if I eat a bunch of bread and a bunch of toast, it'll keep my sugar down, but I'm gonna be running to the bathroom like 3-4 times that night. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm going to be drinking more fluids because my body's trying to get rid of that sugar, even though I'm already taking the insulin for it and keeping the numbers at a normal level. It's still going to have a negative side effect.
What are you talking about? You don't care about bread. What the hell is all that?
Yeah, mother buns are sitting in the fridge. I haven't eaten.
Yeah, you haven't even eaten them yet. He's a bread addict.
So let me give you an idea of bread. Okay, I've had bread that is 12 grams per slice. I've had bread, and this is recently. I've had bread that's been 14 grams of carbs. I've had bread that's 20 grams of carbs.
Have you tried any of the keto breads?
Have I? No. And don't forget, I'm poor, so I got to eat poor.
Yeah,
so like,
I'm fucking poor too. Don't worry.
You know what I'm saying. So like, I'll do a ramen and a pasta and bean progressive soup mixed together. Okay,
See,
so that's
the issue when you don't have a whole bunch of money.
Yes.
What you eat.
Yeah, you get stuck eating garbage food.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong, but I eat on a budget. Eggs aren't cheap, but they're good, and you can make a lot of things out of eggs. And there's a lot of different.
That is true.
Okay, so eggs is a good thing. You just got to watch your cholesterol. Another thing, bacon.
I'd rather die of a heart attack than diabetes.
Exactly.
I don't pressure really bad too.
Oh shit!
I don't buy bacon unless it's buy one get one free, or if it's on sale. Crazy. I mean, I'm just being real with you. Like, I don't get like I won't. Like I have to shop like that, you know. Like I don't go to Aldi's because Publix is literally down the block.
Right.
You know, and I'm lazy. you know, like if I was if I was living in my van and always on the road, I would probably make the effort to go to Aldi's because I could probably save on a
Yeah, right
$50
now I'm stressed out
grocery
because
bill.
we're
I could
back to
probably
one
save
vehicle.
$20 going to Aldi's.
Yeah, and I have to figure out how to get back and forth to work all the time. I was late this morning because my alarm clock didn't go off. But
You need a way to check your blood sugar.
I have a meter. I just need to get the strips, but
Yes.
I can't afford nothing. My ex is taking $300 a month from me for child support.
$300 a paycheck.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So regardless, you need to get strips.
Yes.
Do you have insurance? Can you see if you can get covered for?
Yeah, as long as I go to the doctor and he gives me a prescription, I'll get my diabetes stuff is 100% free.
Okay, so can you like I'll give you the information on what I'm using and what
Okay.
is
I think I have Contour for a little machine.
okay. I'm talking about let's go for the whole treasure chest.
Okay.
Okay, the whole treasure chest would be, hey doc, I want to go on an insulin pump. If that would okay, see, I don't know if you're insulin dependent or not.
Oh, I would think guaranteed.
Okay.
Yeah, but she's only relying on diet right now.
Okay, so if you are insulin dependent diabetic and you're not treating it, my guess is that your H1C is 14. Normal is 6.
Yeah, it's about 14.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah, and then down to 6.
Okay, my A1C treated is 8.9.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Okay, yours
rough, sick.
untreated is probably at least 14. And your average blood sugars are probably 300 and above.
That
Yeah. Guaranteed.
Normal is 100. They say that you need to be admitted to the hospital at 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine were like
Okay. If
over
I went to
20
the,
at one point in time.
if
Yeah,
I
just
went to
20.
the hospital every time I blew a 300, I would be in the hospital multiple times a week. Needless to say, I don't go to the hospital every time I blow 300s.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
You gotta tough it out. I know. That's
You
the
know-
wife. She's tough as nails, but she's been
There's
toughing
way-
this out for a long time, but she needs somebody to talk to, man.
the other, I will give you the information on the actual names of the devices and the companies that make these devices that I use.
Okay.
And there's also less drastic, like you can go from, like we can take baby steps with you, or we can just go for the whole treasure chest, like I said, and go balls to the wall. Let's get an insulin pump, a sensor. Let's have the insulin pump and the sensor communicate with each other. You have to
Yes.
go to a 2-hour course. They have to explain to you what needs to happen, how you do
haven't
it,
done the
how
course
you
yet.
install
Sorry, Sick,
and
to
you
interrupt
install
you,
it and
but
put it on
the
yourself.
wife has never done the course.
I understand that. I just did the course when I started using the equipment. I only started using the equipment a couple months ago.
Okay.
Before I had this equipment, I had, what do they call it? Levitre 14-day sensor. All it was a sensor that was in my arm that allowed my cell phone to test and see what my sugar was without pricking myself.
Yeah, which is nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I would manually inject the fast insulin with a pen. It's called. It's like you take the pen out of the fridge, you
Yeah.
open the
Yeah.
pen. Okay, it's good for 30 days outside the fridge. After 30 days, you throw the pen away.
Yeah, I
you go to
used
your
that before when you
Okay.
had money.
And also,
When I had money.
when I was doing that, I was using 2 different kinds of insulin.
Yes,
Now
me too. Me too.
I only use one kind of insulin. Fast insulin only I use now.
Okay.
So the reason why I stopped using the 2 kinds of insulin, which were a fast insulin and a slow 24-hour release insulin,
Yeah.
was
You double
because
dose.
what was happening was in my sleep, I started crashing.
Oh, okay.
Crashing in your sleep is a big no-no.
Yeah,
And what was
definitely.
happening was you can die that way.
Yes.
So what was happening was it started happening more and more and more often, to the point where it was almost happening every night. And
Oh my god.
I was like, in the beginning, I was taking 50 units of slow release every morning, and that's a lot of units. That's a half a cc.
Yeah. No shit. I
Okay.
know what that is.
So then
Gross.
from there, and then I would use the fast on my spikes when I would eat. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So I was kind of relying on the slow release for a lot of my insulin intake. But I was suffering when I was sleeping because I was crashing. Now, it would read low. Low is unreadable, like under 20, under 15, like unreadable, below 0, like you should be dead. You should not be moving around. You should not be able to walk across the room. You should be collapsing on your first step out of bed. That wasn't happening to me. I was functioning. I was walking around. I wasn't passing out. And I was reading at 0. Like LO. Like, like when you're unreadable high, I don't care, dude. It doesn't bother me. It's Mac's show. It's Mac's show. So I don't know if Mac cares. I don't think Mac cares.
I'm here.
You know what? Sick.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for that information.
Yeah.
You have no idea how much you made the wife feel right now.
Yeah, because it's a lot of fucking shit, bro.
It's a lot of fucking shit. I'm sorry again, Mac. We're swearing. We said the
Yeah,
F-bomb
sorry.
twice.
And
but
I know I'm heavy-winded right now, and I'm saying a lot of stuff, but I can
But
always repeat it, and I can always go. We can
if
always.
the wife needs to talk, I want her to talk to you.
Yeah,
Okay?
it takes a lot of getting used to it. Diabetes, man, it sucks. It's annoying. How many years?
You or Ray, either you or Ray.
Yeah.
But she really needs to talk to somebody, and I can't help her with that. I
How
don't know
long?
what
How
she's
many years
going
did she
through.
have it?
Like,
How many? Like 10, 15, 5?
what?
How
10,
she had the diabetes?
20 years.
Oh, how many years have you had diabetes?
My oldest is 25.
Oh, so
You had it 25 years.
Been a long time.
Been a long time, 25 years. Yeah.
So you really need to, like, I mean, you can't. I know it's overwhelming, and I understand it weighs heavy
the pain
on
in
your
the
head,
ass.
but you need not look at it as a overwhelming and in this alone experience, because you're not. If you have
Thank you, Sick.
questions,
Thank you, Sick.
yeah, you're not. Like, it's very overwhelming. And listen, when I first got it, I ignored it.
See, you have
I ignored it. I didn't shoot insulin. I didn't treat it.
Talk to. It's as easy as that. You
And
I
that's
said-
what I'm doing right now
Yeah.
is trying to ignore it because
I said, "Oh, it'll go away."
This is why I put you with Sick. You see?
If I ignore it enough, it'll fix itself.
Mm.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought too.
So,
But I know it's not fixing itself because
but
Yeah.
it just
other
it
shit
just-
are adding up. But
it's a lot. It blows, and I understand it blows, and it's overwhelming, and it's an annoying disease, and it affects something that you really love to do. Eat. I love to eat, man.
Yeah.
I
Or
love
walk.
to have good
How about
food.
walk?
And Ukrainian.
You know, it's not easy, but like you can still do all the things you would normally do and enjoy yourself just as much if
You
you
just have to
make
get-
a couple of little tweaks.
Yes.
I can still have candy. I just can't have a whole bag of it. You know, I can have like a couple in the palm of my hand instead of
Oh shit!
I
Okay,
think
stop
that
talking
is
about sugar, sick.
because
Stop talking about sugar, because you're gonna go
You
straight
know,
to that candy
everything's
bag.
horrible. I can't eat nothing.
Well, let me end the night on an upbeat tempo.
Okay, yes,
We were-
let's
we were
leave Mac at this, okay?
We were talking about, well, we can always get back to the diabetes thing. I've been living with it for a while, and so it has sick, but and Rod, his wife. We were talking about Ghost a while ago. I'm going to take you, and you should, Desert Outlaw, you should ride your Harley out there to this place I'm going to show you. It'll be a long ride for you, sick, but it would be possible. But when the day we got up there, I believe it was like 114 degrees.
yeah.
And here is a place that you'd love to go for a ride. Well, here we are in Calico Ghost Town. Let's tip one here together. Here, Angelique and I'm going to have a cold, frosty Coors Light.
$114, bro.
Yeah, it gets hot out there.
Get you a sip. There we go.
This is Calico
Oh
Ghost
my God, that's cold.
and over in the Mojave Desert.
So here's Calico, Lil Saloon. That's where we're at now. While he was there, I'm gonna go over here and shoot the city. Okay, I'm just going right here. I'm sorry. That's looking down towards Barstow.
Okay.
That's
See the dust of
Lane's
the
General
desert.
Merchandise. Angelique went in there and did a little shopping, but I don't know what she got. Let me see.
A red-headed stranger rode into Blue Rock, Montana.
It's the redheaded stranger town.
67 years ago, my mother, May of 1956,
Hang on.
she brought me here,
Let me get it.
and we went up there and went through.
Wow.
You had, oh, I guess was he standing by? I seen him waving.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he was waving by.
Let me go back to my little tale.
Up there, there's mines in the hills up there. And then in 2009, my brother and Robert and I, we came over and did the thing, and now I'm really pleased that Angelique was able to come over and make the same journey. This will probably more than likely be my last journey. 83 years of wandering the earth. And somewhere along the line, you got to know when to call it. But we haven't found that date yet, but we're still out looking. Look at the little beast. Look at the little beast. Look at the little beast. You see the little beast? It wants to attack. Alrighty, and there's my little beast. Hey Theo, what's happening, buddy? Did she get you a cold beer? You're not into cold beer? Well, God bless each and every one of you. It's been a long journey, but it's been a worthwhile journey. Love you and God bless you.
It's a great video, Mac.
Man, that town is awesome looking.
That's awesome.
My
Listen,
mother,
Robin, if you're listening, Robin, try to pop back in the chat if you can.
yeah,
Please. That was an awesome video, Mac.
Calico.
Calico. I've heard
Yeah.
of Calico.
Calico is a ghost town, and when you go up there to the mines, you can go up and go really deep down into the gold mines, and you get down there, and there's bedrooms down in there because when they went down, they stayed down for 30 days sometimes. They took their back bacon and their beans and went down, and they stayed in the mines. They would mine, and when they came out, they brought bags of gold out with them. And they had a kitchen down there, and they did their cooking, everything down inside the mines.
That's pretty close to me. I just looked it up.
Yeah, that's right there at Barstow. Just
Yeah,
go
that's super.
River at Needles and go up to Barstow. First time I went there was in 1956. My mother took me out there, and I loved it. I've been back many a time. My brother's buried right there in Barstow.
No
Oh,
kidding.
man.
He was killed in the army. But anyhow, we loved that little town, and I wanted her to experience. She had never been. See, when we rode across the desert, we was in a Mustang GT, refrigerated air. It was cold, but when she walked out, she couldn't hardly breathe. It was so hot. She was.
Oh, yeah.
She was like in a coma. You know, like, oh my God. She said, "How was you able to walk out there in that sun?"
Yeah. Calico. I'm going to definitely visit there one time. At least once. Have to at least once. I like all the old ghost towns, man. We always go to like Oatman, Arizona is a cool little ghost town. Bisbee's an alive ghost town.
Oh yeah, I've been there. That's another great place to go to.
Yeah.
That's more authentic in a way because it's still alive today.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a little place for the tourists to go to. Calico, it's a pretty big operation, and it was a real genuine town. But the thing is, it's been kept alive through donations and stuff, you know. And Bigsby is a real place,
Yeah.
if you want to call it that.
Yeah. It's kind of weird down there. It's cool. I really like it down there.
Yeah.
Calico looks really cool, though.
It is a beautiful place. If you go at the right time of the year, like when it's over in the spring, oh, it is beautiful. You get a little bit of rain sometimes towards the end of winter, and it makes all that desert bloom and everything comes up, but it's only a short-lived blooming. You know, it dries up pretty fast.
It's probably nice to go right now.
I would think it'd be a good time to go. First time I went there was in May of 1956, and like I said in that deal, I took my brother out there in 2009, and he really believed that he could walk over to that cemetery and talk to them, and pay for, just take pocket change out and buy a little. I go, no, it's got to come from the State Department. Ain't no way you could buy one. Ain't enough money in the world to let you buy one.
Did it look the same back then as it did the last time you visited?
Oh, absolutely. Nothing has changed.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because when I went there in 56, it was a commercial ghost town. And they have gunfights every weekend out there. They shoot off the roof. They're professional actors out of Hollywood, and they come out there and put on these, spectacular. You got them
elaborate sets and stuff, and elaborate setups and
Yeah,
costumes.
you can be in a bar sick and having a drink, and all of a sudden they'll bring the music up, and everybody looks to the door, and here comes the baddest ass guy.
That's
That comes
great.
on both sides, you know, and he'll walk in and he'll eyeball the place up. And there'll be two guys at the table you didn't even notice. I think they come in from a side door. And he looks over at them, and they get up and they walk out on the street. Next thing you know, there's gunfire.
No kidding. That's awesome.
Well, the people there play a role in it. You know, the scene is taking place right amongst you.
Oh, man.
It's like Flash Mob without the mob. Yeah,
It
ever
kind of
watch
reminds me
Flash
of
Mob,
Tombstone.
Old Mac? You know what Flash Mob is?
Yeah, where they appear and all of a sudden there'll be like a whole show production put on and just in a heartbeat.
Yep, with everyone just like anyone just walking around there, and they're all there for a reason, and you don't even know it. Like
And
in
they come
everyday
together.
stories.
You don't even you think they're just another customer, and they come
Exactly.
together and all of a sudden, man, they put on a show. It's so well orchestrated, but it's
Yeah.
they
Like
got it
every
all.
year in Manhattan, they on Halloween they do the Thriller video down the streets in the Village. They start playing the music like you would never know it. It's just all of a sudden like there's people everywhere. You know, it's the downtown Village, and the next thing you know, you kind of hear the spooky beginning of Thriller, and then you kind of see certain people coming up the block in like not an organized formation, but like as they get closer to you, they start to organize more and more and more. And next thing you know, they're fucking dancing like Thriller, and the Thriller music starts coming on, and they're all dressed, to the to the hilt, and they're all like crazy costumes, and they all start dancing together in sync like a flash mob. It's on the news every year. It's great.
Have you ever been to one of these Renaissance period Renaissance fairs?
I have.
They got them. They got them over there in Florida. You can go to this big arena where the knights come out and joust, and you eat a steak while they're jousting.
Yeah.
We went to a Renaissance fair in over in Etowah County. So now we lined up, and the crowd was long getting in there. It had been billed for over a year. It's at a big amphitheater over in the Rocks, and everybody looks forward to going to see it. It's people that have culture and class enjoy seeing things that way. Well, my wife was a cultured class lady, and I'd never been to a Renaissance fair. So we go in, we're lining up, and we're getting close to the gate, and there was two goobers right in front of us. And here come a little guy come trotting up there, and he had his little period costume on, and he said, "By Jove, my lady, I believe there's going to be a bloody jousting or something, or whatever it was." And he had a little leather skirt on, and he was dressed like it would be in 1200, 1200 AD.
Yeah.
That one guy, he said, "You can sure tell that one is real gay. He's real gay."
That's great.
Yeah, they go, we just come over here to see the gay ones. There's no straight ones in this whole. They're all gay. Every one of them are. I thought, if you come over, if you're thinking that you're just going to a gay thing, I mean, that tells you a little bit about the guy that's doing the talking, right?
Yeah, it does.
Talking about, and I thought, why would you waste your money? You had to pay money to get in there.
Yeah.
Why would you spend the money if you were there just to poke fun at the gay ones in there? I mean,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
they're in costume and they're talking of the English accent and stuff,
Yeah.
They didn't have no dad burn, golly, darn it, lug nut, come on, cooter.
Yeah.
I loved it, man. It was they had the jousting out there, and I thought to myself, that would kill a mortal man to be hit in the chest, even though they're in the middle plate, and flipped off the back of a horse and landed on their backs. It would kill me, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be done for.
Oh,
It's like a skewer.
do it and make it look so authentic. I mean, they're actually getting knocked off the horse, but those animals are so trained. They know exactly how much they can miss because they do it weekend after weekend after weekend.
Yeah.
It has to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
They got to be really careful. I mean, when I went to Medieval Times in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, because Lyndhurst was like just at the bottom of Route 17, like 15 minutes away from my house. And when they did the jousting, you saw there was like a towel or whatever at the end of the joust, they weren't stupid enough to go out there with like real jousting tools. Like they had a pillow or something or some kind of cushion at the end. I mean, they made it look good and it looked real, but like, they're not going to risk getting hurt.
Yeah, on the tip, they had a
Yeah, on the
big round
tip.
tip.
Yeah.
The tip was not penetrating. It was like some kind of a rubber like thing, like a boot. And when it hit, it knocked it
Exactly.
off, and it didn't penetrate. But they knew exactly how to fall, and they was ready for the blow. But it was so doggone authentic.
Yes.
I've been to Boot Hill. I've been to all those over in Kansas. I've been most of the places I've been to. I love old Western scenes, and I used to everywhere I'd go, I'd have my Super 8 Kodak. You wind it up over here, and you'd run it.
Yeah.
Wind up movie project. You made the video, and I had a Super 8 which had audio on it.
Oh, damn.
A special projector to play it on, but we used to have 200-foot reels that would be like 15 or 20 minutes long. 200 foot would be 20 minutes.
For a few years, I got to drive the Wells Fargo wagon during the Rose Parade in Tombstone, and the Rose Parade is pretty good. It's like they have a whole bunch of all the girls are dressed up as Lady of the Nights and stuff, and then they have Shriners that go around. That was a blast.
We was at Old Town San Diego, and we went in there to the Wells Fargo office at San Diego Old Town, and there was all this history and all these wagons in there, and if you took a stage from San Antonio, Texas, to down to San Diego, way down through the Apache country and stuff, $1,500 in the 1800s to ride a stagecoach. Now imagine this: your average wage is, when my daddy was working in the coal mines, about $700 a year. So you're talking about 2 years of wages to ride a stagecoach. Very expensive.
Yeah. I mean, that has to be, I don't know, freaking today's money, like 60 grand maybe.
Well, it'd be like flying on the SST, the Concorde.
Yeah. Like getting to space.
Let me tell you a little bit about you guys know about the Concorde, right? The SST, the Concorde, the French, British. They got the stoop nose. All right, so they got my team, and they said, you got to go to Moses Lake, Washington. And I said, what's going on? They said, the British has brought the SST. See, we couldn't make ours fly in America because of the noise abatement. And they're going to be landing in Moses Lake, Washington, and you're going to take a team over there. You're going to join a team over there, and they're going to do what they call upper atmosphere de-icing. They're going to leave Moses Lake. They're going to go over the Pacific Ocean, out in the Pacific, get themselves all wet, and come back across the Cascade Range and land. And they're going to measure how much ice is built up and this kind of stuff. And they had these probes all over the craft. And so we went inside the SST, and the guys were getting it all set up and ready for the flight. Unfortunately, the flight that we was going to be on left 20 minutes before we got there, because we couldn't get across the pass because the snow was so deep that we couldn't. It took a while for the State Department to open up the highway so we could get across. And we showed up late, so we missed our flight, but they let us go in and take pictures and stuff of all the testing they was doing. And man, that was a beautiful airplane. And you got a meter up there up on the wall, the bulkhead, between the cabin and the fuselage. It's the Mach meter. Tells you how fast when you go Mach 1.
The Mach box.
Yeah, when it shows up there, but you pay like to fly from New York to England over there, it's like $4,000 back then, to fly for that little 2 or 3 hour flight. But if you got a business and you need to be in New York or you need to be in London, that was the way to go.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Because your company
zap around the world.
Yeah, the company would pick up the tab, and that thing. The Russians built one that met about the same fate as the French-British combination. It also it made a lot of flights, but it bit the bullet too because it had a series of major accidents.
Yeah, that one at the air show. Remember that one? They had a incident at the air show. The
Yeah.
pilot was showing off. He ended up crashing the freaking thing.
Well,
Soviet's version of the Concorde.
the first Airbus to ever roll off the assembly line in Toulouse, France, it was at the air show, and it crashed in the wooded forest. Everybody survived. Nobody was killed, but it just mowed down many, hundreds and hundreds of yards of timber. It was some instrument problem, and they overshot the runway and went right into the forest.
Wow.
That was an air show also. But they soon corrected that. And my buddy, the airline pilot, Mike Wicker, he said, if it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. He didn't like no fly-by-wire. When he pulled a stick, he wanted everything to be operated by cable. He was not a fan of the fly-by-wire. Imagine, you're riding in your Harley. One little sensor goes out, and you have to change the breaker out. You get in there on your ECU and change out a breaker or whatever. Can you imagine at 40,000 feet, something goes out? You ain't going to be changing no breaker.
No, you need multiple redundancy systems.
Oh, guys, let me wrap it up for the night. I see Sick is almost ready to go to bed already.
Yeah.
And Desert Outlaw, I'm going to be on tomorrow, so I'll give everybody a little chance to get up and get their breakfast in the morning. I'll probably get on my time somewhere around 8 o'clock. It'd be, I'm Central Standard Time at 8, so it'd be 9 for you there, Sick, and it'll be only you're an hour different. Me and you are an hour different, Desert Outlaw. But right now it's 11:15, and you should be 12:15, right?
Yeah.
9:15.
Oh, you're earlier. That's right. You're right. So you're 2 hours.
2 hours.
You're the same. I thought Arizona was on their own separate time.
Mountain Standard.
Oh, tonight they're changing the clocks tonight. By the way,
Did they change the clocks tonight?
Not yet.
You sure?
2 o'clock tonight. 2 o'clock in the morning. I think they changed them.
Well, the computer will take care of itself. The phone will take care of itself. I'll change that one over there. So remember the time change, because we'll be on here. I'll get kicked off about 8 o'clock in the morning. And with that, I'm going to say good evening to you guys, and get you a night full of rest, or he's Desert Outlaw. He's ready to go partying.
Yeah. Make some dinner.
And
it's 9 o'clock by him, right? 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Oh, it's midnight here, bro. I'm going.
Jeez.
With that, guys, have a good one.
Good night, Mr. Mac. Good night, Outlaw.
Good night. Good night, Sick.
Oh,
Good night, Mac.
I'll give a big love to Rod B over there. He stayed with us all the night.
Yeah, he did. Thank you, Rod.
Rod, you're a good guy.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
If I can figure out how to get out of here. Oh, come on. There we go.